We are under a week away from San Diego Comic-Con 2026, and the exclusive pops from Funko have all been confirmed. And like usual on the channel, I'm going to be doing a ranking video where I go through each exclusive, starting off with what I feel is the worst and work one by one until what I personally feel is the best exclusive for San Diego Comic-Con 2026. And I'm going to kick this off with Cinnamon Roll from Sanrio, and that's mainly because I'm not really a fan of the Hello Kitty and Sanrio pops to begin with. Plus, we've had so many cinnamon rolls at this point that it's kind of annoying. And to kind of go with that, the next pop is Hanamara Rule Bake. I know I definitely butchered that. Anything Japanese related or anime related, I know I'm going to butcher the name, so I apologize in advance. And I can already tell with the size of the pop in the box with this glam shot that I feel like you're not going to get your money's worth when it comes to this Invincible from Invincible. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the idea of these like mystery boxes, I guess you can say, even though they're not really a mystery because they've actually set different dates for all 6 of the pops involved in this set. The reason I put this fairly low is that, in my opinion, you can find a much cheaper option for an Invincible pop instead of this basic version. They've already made a few non-Comic-Con exclusive ones already that are much more bang for your buck. Instead of forking up, I believe it's 40 USD because it is a legendary pop. And to continue with that, we have Maskvincible. Now, I definitely debated on putting this a little bit higher on the list because this falls under the mythic category. However, I'm not really going to focus too much on limited edition as a factor to put pops on the list. I just feel this looks like a random basic pop that I can just find another pop of a different character, paint it over it, and then I have Maskvincible instead of paying the, I think at this case, it's like $60 USD. Sung Il Wan from Solo Leveling. We've seen much better pops for Solo Leveling. Radiant Black from DC Comics. Now, although you can say this is kind of as basic as the Maskvincible that I talked about, at least with this pop, there is a bit of a different posing change, unlike the arms to the side that we saw with the Solo Leveling pop that we just talked about. Plus, it does have the glow in the dark specification, so I guess that does add to the pop and how it could be one spot up from the Solo Leveling pop. Absolute Batman followed by Absolute Wonder Woman. I don't really see the hype too much on these pops. I know that a lot of people do love Batman and Wonder Woman, but with Batman being the very first character that ever got a Funko Pop, and we've seen hundreds upon hundreds of different Batmans, it's just like they all mesh into one at this point, and I'm just very tired of Batman. M. Bison from Street Fighter. Now, I'm not too sure if this is going to be for the video game series or the upcoming movie that comes out in October. However, the overall design of this pop does look pretty sweet with the outfit, the power he has going on with his hand, the white eyes, and especially his hat with the skull that has the wings. The Kyber Crystal Darth Maul followed by the Kyber Crystal Ahsoka Tano. You could say the same thing with the Star Wars pops as you can say with the DC Comics pops, because we have seen tons of Darth Maul and Ahsoka Tano. But at least with these ones, they added a little bit more detail with the base that's involved. And the reason I picked Ahsoka Tano over the Darth Maul is the much better posing of like being kneeled down instead of just standing still with the 2 lightsabers that Darth Maul has. Lucy from Cyberpunk Edge Runners. Now, I will admit that the posing is a little lackluster because it's just arms to the side, but I think what really makes me intrigued by this pop is what's going on with the head sculpt. From what I'm looking at, because I've never played or seen Cyberpunk, that it looks like there's a reflection on the helmet of this specific character, which I feel like Funko has either done only a few pops like that or have never pulled off this kind of a pop before. Kate Vincible from Invincible. I don't think there's ever been a version of Invincible like this that has previously been done, so at least it is something a bit new to where you might actually want to chase after this. Orko from Masters of the Universe. I believe this is Orko from the newer Masters of the Universe that just came out in theaters not too long ago. It still looks pretty decent. I really like how they incorporated like the smoke as the base rather than just adding a clear base to show that he's a floating character. Hoodvincible from Invincible. The Hoodvincible is fairly different compared to all the pops that I talked about, even when it comes to the hairstyle, because you do got a little bit of that cowlick going on in the front there. Loki from Persona 5. Now, this does have a bit of detail, but this this just feels like a pop that I've seen before. Absolute Superman from DC Comics. Technically, I should have put this right around the same area I put the other two, but at least with this one, it had a much better posing, and you had a bit of different colors added to it with like the orange involved. Ultimate Freddy Funko followed by Ultimate Freddy Funko with sword. Now, we have seen a couple of different Ultimate Freddys already with the NFT Funimation pops, and I do think that these are slightly better than the NFT ones, but not by much. The Diamond Collection Doflamingo. Now, normally Funko pulls off some really awesome One Piece convention exclusives, and with this one, I don't mind the specification of Diamond Collection, but it's when they put too much of that glitter on the pop is what really bugs me. It's already on the outfit, the feathery cape that he's wearing, and then especially when they start adding it to hair, it just makes it look awful in my opinion. If you've enjoyed this video thus far, definitely smash that like button, let me know your opinions down below, and definitely hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Pochita from Chainsaw Man. Now, it's usually a reoccurrence every year at San Diego Comic-Con that there's always going to be a specific pop that fits the theme of summer, since it is a summer convention, and that's what they've done with this one, and I like the way they executed this, where it has the inflatable that he's chilling on, his eyes are closed drinking either lemonade or apple juice or something, and he's wearing a hat. Looks fairly unique compared to even the regular Pochitas. Joker followed by Violet for Persona 5. Now, I do like the way these pops look, especially because they are in more of like a jumping or a flying pose. We've seen lots of Joker pops before, which is why I put Violet ahead, because I believe she's never had a pop before. Omnivincible from Invincible. Now, this one does really intrigue me a lot. Of course, I know these are different variants of Invincible, which I've not seen the newer season, but I like the idea of basically mashing up Invincible with Omni-Man here. The colors do look very nice, and they actually changed the hairstyle. Kitsune Franny from Funimation. Even though there was previously a Kitsune Franny for the NFT lineup of Funimation pops, at least with this one, it looks fairly different compared to that one. Unlike the Ultimate Freddys I brought up earlier in this video, shout out goes to the unacceptable viewer. And the reason that they ended up getting a shout out is because they joined our YouTube channel membership, which only cost $1.99 a month. Not only do you get the shout out, but you do get lots of other perks, including early access to every single video and short that we produce on this channel. So definitely consider joining our YouTube channel membership. It will be greatly appreciated, and it will go a long way of helping out this channel a lot. So definitely consider it, but let's get right back to the video. The Tony Choppers rides from One Piece. Now, I've really enjoyed the rides they've done for previous conventions for One Piece. I do think that they've all looked pretty decent. I guess my only gripe though is knowing how these rides are executed to where you know the pop is going to be fairly tiny for the box that it's going to be in, and they're going to charge you a bit of an arm and a leg because of the box rather than the size of the figure. Movinci Hawk from Invincible. Now, I knew this had to be the best out of the 6 Invincible pops, not only because of the blood splatter that's on the outfit, but of course the completely different head mold that comes along with this pop. The Flocked Doflamingo from One Piece. Not only is Flocked a better specification than Diamond Collection, but they've executed exactly how Diamond Collection should have been. Just like one part of the pop, and that's all it should be. The hair didn't need to be flocked, the entire outfit didn't need to be flocked. Red Dragon Wormling from Dungeons and Dragons. Now, I really like the Dungeons and Dragons pops when it comes to Comic-Cons. I think my only gripe for this is the fact that once again, it's going to be in a sideways box, which completely ruins your collection when all your pops stand up straight. Loot from Magic the Gathering. This one's very intriguing because if I'm not mistaken, besides like very small gaming conventions, this is the very first convention exclusive pop for Magic the Gathering. I think my only gripe to where it could go higher up is the fact that this should have been a flocked pop, but at the end of the day, not every pop can be flocked. I just would prefer that some of these characters, like this one specifically, that looks like it could use that treatment, should have had the flock specification. Dane Aylin from Baldur's Gate. Now, this thing has a chock full of detail, not only with the armored outfit, but also the skin involved where it's starting to crack. I think my only gripe would be is that there is a lack of posing. It's just arms to the side. It's nothing too special. Geiger from DC Comics. This pop looks pretty cool with the detail of it already with the outfit and the face, but also adding that glow-in-the-dark specification for a character that is green. It's gonna look so nice when you take that black light to it. Malice from Marvel Rivals. This one looks pretty cool with the detail involved, and especially the incorporation with the base, the regular Space Godzilla followed by the blue version of it. Funko has been really killing it lately with Godzilla pops, and they did such a great job with these ones. I picked the blue one over the regular one, not only because the colors look very nice on that, but at the same time with how these are being distributed, the regular one is going to be more expensive than the other one, even though that they're supposed to be priced the same because they are legendary pops. And that segues to the best pop in my opinion, being the Forky and Karen Beverly 2-pack from Toy Story 5. This is literally the only pop I plan on getting, so that's why it's at number 1. Thanks for watching. See you later, guys. Peace out.